So we have Prof. Doris Padmini Selvaratnam. She is from Universiti Kebangsaan Malaysia. So she conduct many research, especially about social entrepreneurship, economic of women in health, economic of social policy, family economic planning, social political aspect of development. So she has many experience for dealing with economic wealth and entrepreneurship. So in here we also see that his activity is so many enough for us to see, and Prof. Doris also explained to me also that she have many collaboration with many institution in Indonesia, Unpad, and many other university that they already conduct many things for the economic development. We
Sorry, I can't hear.
Hello, Pak. Your mic is not working. I think it's muted.
I think we lost him because of his internet connection, probably.
I think so, because it's now off. So I think it's time to start. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today in this session. So we are delighted to welcome you to the Business Athletics series, present and the past, present, and future, which is hosted by the Faculty of Economics and Business at IIUM. So my name is Rakutar Sumamdirina Finch, and I'm joined by two distinguished speakers who is going to talk about the Marketing Outlook 2020. So I would like to welcome Prof. Tahir to share and introduce himself.
Okay, thank you, Finn, for your welcome. First of all, I would like to thank the management of Lanka University and Prof. Gansar for inviting us for this this panel discussion. Just briefly about myself, I am working with International Islamic University, Malaysia, from the last more than 10 years now. I'm working as an associate professor in the Department of Business. And my area of expertise is marketing, broadly speaking, specifically consumer behavior, and more specifically customer relationship management. So these are my areas, and I'll be showing, discussing with you some of the interesting things that are emerging in the field of marketing and that we are expecting, inshallah, in the coming future. So that is what I'll be discussing with you. I have around 40 plus research papers published in international journals, index journals. I have attended more than 25 international conferences. I'm currently working as a visiting scholar with many universities. I'm working with a university in South Africa. It is called Shwani University of Technology. I'm working as an adjunct professor. They call it their extraordinary professor. I visited them a couple of years ago, and I was supposed to visit them last year, but due to the pandemic, it didn't work. So probably when the pandemic is hopefully over, then I'll be visiting them. I'm also working as a visiting scholar in universities in Turkey. I have collaboration with the university in Konya. It is called Seljuk University. And I have currently a collaboration with the university in Sparta, Turkey. Apart from that, I have some collaboration in United Arab Emirates in Saudi Arabia, in United States of America, in Australia, to name a few countries. So that's how I work with multiple distinguished professors. And I hope that this presentation will open door of collaboration with some of the renowned professors and interested in the field of marketing. If we have, I would love to collaborate. So I think that's it. Otherwise, I will not stop talking about myself. I have a big profile. I would end it there. The rest you can Google me. I'm Googleable. So I have a lot of information available on Google. That's the easiest method. Google my name. My name is Muhammad Tahir Jan. You will find my platforms. I do have online platforms. I do have online lectures. I have one of my own personal platform. It is called the Marketing School. So I have my courses there, online courses. Students can go attend the courses. I have courses on other online platforms like Udemy. Some of you may have heard of it. And yeah, so Google me, guys. And that's it about myself.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Tahir. It's a very interesting introduction. So I think we are moving on to the next speaker. Welcome, Prof. Doris. Please introduce yourself to the audience.
So very good afternoon to everybody. I'm Dr. Doris. I'm from Faculty of Economics and Management, Universiti Kebangsaan, Malaysia. I think just now Prof. Gansha also mentioned quite a lot about myself, and I'm not sure what else to add on to it. Probably I'm not so much into marketing myself personally. I'm more into development. But I see marketing, entrepreneurship are tools to empower the community. So today I'm also involved a little bit into marketing and entrepreneurship initiatives. And I would be glad to share what I have with me, especially with the experiences of my students, and also probably some sharing with the indigenous community as to how the online platform has advanced them further, especially in the current pandemic situation. And in terms of academic writing, publications, yes, I do have some, not a huge amount, but yes, it's building. And I hope this collaborative initiatives would also lead towards not just knowledge sharing, but if there are avenues for us to collaborate and do research work, not just among academicians, but also with students, and gearing towards not just research work, but also for education purposes. I would really welcome that, because I think the more we collaborate, I think we can go further. I guess that's all from me. Thank you. Back to you, moderator.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prof. Doris, for your very interesting introduction. So we will learn and get some insights from our two distinguished speakers today, from the point of view of a marketing perspective and as well as the development perspective. So please welcome Dr. Tahir. You can share with us your insight.
Thank you, Vince. I will just share my slides with you, and probably that will help us understand it well. Are you people able to see my screen? Let me make it full screen so that it is easy for you to look at. Is it okay now?
Yes,
all of you?
Perfect.
Okay. Now, please stop me whenever you want to stop me, because as I mentioned, I'm a marketer and I love to talk. and I can talk on these topics for hours, right? Like I remember once I do train employees of different organization, and I remember the longest that I train in one session was from morning 9 to 5 non-stop. And so that was not a one-day session. It was like 4 days session where I had to talk from morning 9 to 5. And I took it as a challenge. It is not easy, by the way, with only 1 hour break you talk, because it's not like numerical or mathematical subject where you solve on the whiteboard or you keep quiet. In marketing, you have to talk continuously. You have to interact. It's a theoretical subject. Most of the time we put practice as well, but it is more of talking is involved there. So it's not easy, but alhamdulillah, I have been doing it for the last more than 15 years now. So please, moderator, give me a buzz. You can just look at me in an angry way if you think that I have surpassed your expectations of time. I have prepared, actually, this is the topic that is an interesting topic as well, because we compare the past, the present, and the future. However, it is difficult to distinguish between the present and the future. The things are becoming really blur, because the present in one country is a future in another country. What does it mean is that some of the developed countries have already have those things that I'm going to share with you, which our countries or the other underprivileged countries are yet to even hear about. So that's why I will just take you from what marketing was, what are some of the basic philosophies or concepts of marketing, and then what should we expect that is coming ahead in the marketing, in the field of marketing. When we say marketing, it's a broader field of study, but I will just talk in general terms for those who are not even in the field of marketing. They would also somehow grasp the concept of marketing. So I'll not go in a lot more technicalities. I will just talk in broad sense, which is easy for most of the audience to understand. Just like Dr. Doris already mentioned about the students collaboration. Yes, that will also open an avenue, just like this platform will open avenues for collaboration with students as well. We do supervise students. I believe that Dr. Doris also have a good profile of supervising students. So we do have masters and PhD students that we supervise, and I personally also supervise students from other universities. In some universities, they call it field supervisors. So when they appoint a person from another university, which is not from their university, they call it field supervisors. I'm open to these kind of options as well. Let's get to the topic. What am I planning to discuss with you is the definition. There are many definitions of marketing, but I have selected one definition. Normally, I tell people 3 definitions, but for this discussion, for the purpose of this discussion, or for the purpose of this lecture, I've only selected one. And the reason I've selected one is because only the definitions of marketing will take a lot of our time. And I don't want to spend a lot of time on the definitions. Rather, I want to go to the past and future, and the past, present, and future. That's why I selected one very contemporary definition of marketing. And what that is what I'm going to discuss with you. Then the evolution of marketing, what marketing was, what happened to the marketing, and what marketing is, some basic philosophies of marketing, and then the trends, the future trends of marketing. Looking at the definition of marketing, I love this definition. I told you that my expertise is in customer relationship management in the field of marketing. And this definition was right there. When I looked at it, I somehow loved the definition because of its emphasis on building relationship with the customer. So what is the definition of marketing? If you sum up in one single sentence, it is to engage customers and to build profitable relationship. Now, these 2 things that you see in the slide, engaging customers and building relationship, that may sound easy, but actually there are a lot of research, a lot of efforts required to build a relationship with the customers and to engage customers. But to briefly tell you, engaging customers in simple word means that make sure that the customers remember you. Make sure that the customers communicate with you. Make sure that you communicate with the customers and you remember the customers. Why? Because previously, in the older times, marketing was more of getting the customer one time and then forgetting about the customer, because there were a lot of demand of the products. Fewer producers were there, a lot of customers were there. Now we know that we are moving to an era where the competition is getting tougher and tougher every day, which means that there are so many producers producing the same type of product and struggling to get the same customer. So it is only one customer. iPhone is trying, Apple company is trying to get him, Samsung company is trying to get him, Huawei company is trying to get him, Oppo is trying to get him, and you name it. There are a lot of companies. I'm talking about only one customer, that a lot of companies are trying to get him. So it is becoming difficult for the producers now to make sure that the customer is not lost, make sure that the customer is not a one-time customer. Rather, you get the customer bought a particular product from your company, and then you try to communicate with the customer in a way that the customer come back to you. We call it customer retention in technical terms. So you retain the customer come back to you. And how is it possible? When you engage with the customers, when you try to communicate with the customer, when you try to interact with the customers, solve the customer's issue. And there are multiple methods through which the companies make sure that the customers are engaged with the company. When the customers are engaged with the company, what happens is that the customers come back to you. Research shows that, pay attention now, research shows that it is expensive for the companies to search for new customers every time. It is not expensive to entertain the existing customers. Now, when you have the existing customers, you are saving on a lot of resources when you try to sell back to them again and again, rather than going and searching for new customers every time. I normally give to the students a simple example. When you want to search for new customers, at least you have to tell the customers about yourself. Who are you? What are you selling? We call it, in simple words, we call it promotion, right? You have to inform the customer about your company, your product. Now, informing your customers about your company, informing people about the company, that actually takes a significant portion of companies' resources. According to research, only one part of promotion, which is called advertising, I'm sure that you have heard of it. We see advertisement every single day using different platforms. Advertisement by companies, these companies usually spend up to $100 million on advertising. Now, just imagine if you can save that $100 million of advertising, especially when you are informing people, because your customers already know you. You don't need to inform them again and again. You have to move further in the models of advertisement, like you have to try to motivate to buy other products from you. So you're saving on that part of marketing, and that saving should be spent on research and development, improvement, bringing on new features in the product, reducing the price of the product. All these things comes from engaging with the customers. And when you have all those things, what happens is the customers come back to you again and again. When the customers come back to you again and again, I told you in marketing, we call it customer retention. When you retain the customer for a longer period of time, to an extent that the customers somehow are committed to your company emotionally and in form of the monetary commitment as well. So emotional commitment and monetary commitment, that the customer do not go to another company. The customer is just committed to your company. That is the time that you have just built profitable relationship with the customer. Now, profitable relationship can be built in so many different ways as well, but as it is not the scope of this discussion, I told you it will prolong the discussion. I will leave this definition here, and you have to ponder more upon this definition, is what mechanisms can a company use to engage with the customers so that the customer become a profitable customer. And this, by the way, this definition is not only applicable to physical products, it is applicable to universities. Some of my research studies are on higher education institutions. I've done some research on how can we satisfy customers so that the customer is a repeat customer. So the customer have taken an admission, customers being student in higher education. So a student have taken admission in an undergrad degree or a diploma degree or a diploma, and then how to retain the customer come back and suppose do masters from you, do PhD from your university. So that is the definition of customer retention and customer loyalty in services industry. And there are more to that. So when you do that, it eventually translates into profit. This is a very good definition. I would suggest you look into this definition more and you see how can you apply that in your organizations so that the customers are engaged and that engagement result in profitable relationship. Now, one thing before I go to the next important point is that we do not engage with all type of customers, and it takes me to another topic of marketing. We call it the types of customers. We have different types of customers as well. Not all customers are good customers. Some customers are profitable. Some customers are not so profitable customers. So we have customers, we have a type of customers, we call it strangers. We have a type of customers, we call it barnacles. Now, these are technical terms. These type of customers are actually not profitable customers. The profitable customers are called the true friends. The profitable customers are called butterflies, for example. So there are many types of customers. You have to find out which of your customers are good so that you can stay in touch with those customers, engage with the customers, and which of your customers are not so profitable so that you try to not spend a lot of resources on them. Now, as I told you that this was just an intro to the topic where you have to understand and keep in mind which definition are we taking. I told you there are so many definitions of marketing. You go to Google and write marketing definitions, you will find hundreds of definitions of marketing. And the interesting thing is that there is no single definition of marketing that you can choose. You just have to choose a definition that you like and justify why you like it, the way I just justified it. So there are many definitions and it depends on which school of thought you're following. And talking about the school of thought, that takes me to another topic, and that is the evolution of marketing. Now, evolution of marketing is a topic that I usually cover from so many sources, because the evolution of marketing topic is a topic in some books. It is also called the marketing management orientations. It is also called the timeline of marketing in some books. So we have the timeline of marketing, evolution of marketing, the growth of marketing, the marketing management orientation. I will try to explain this topic from two different schools of thought so that you have an idea what this topic is all about. Now, it has different stages. Evolution means the growth of marketing. Evolution means what marketing was and what happened to the marketing and what is marketing right now and what should we expect from the marketing in the future. That's what the topic is, right? The past, future, the past, present, and future of marketing. So the past, present, and future of marketing, we call it evolution of marketing, the growth over the time span. Now, there are many stages and we will explain those stages quickly. I'll quickly explain those stages and then I will explain it from different sources so that you get an idea what it actually means to your company, to your business, to your studies. In the evolution of marketing, we have the first one, and these are in some books, these are in order. So you don't have to shuffle the order. The last two stages are very unique stages, and I'll come to that in a while. So we have the first stage is the production orientation stage. I told you that in some books, it is called marketing management orientation. The production stage, first, I will tell you the philosophy behind the production stage. The philosophy behind the production stage is that customers will prefer those products which are readily available. We call it availability of products. I'm repeating, what is production stage? This philosophy states that if you're following this philosophy, make sure that your product is always readily available to the customers. If the customers come to buy your product and it is out of shelves, it is not there, you are somehow not following the production orientation stage or the production orientation philosophy of marketing. First, I'm explaining it from a philosophical perspective, then I will explain it from a timeline perspective. The product orientation, which is the second one, the product orientation philosophy or concept states that customers will prefer those products which are of high quality, which are produced in a way which shows that these products are of supreme quality, a better quality, good quality products. Quality itself is a very interesting and important topic in marketing, but again, not the scope of this discussion. The next is the sales orientation stage. This stage says that customers will prefer, this philosophy states that customers will prefer those products which are sold by the companies using promotional techniques. Now, takes me to a topic of marketing, which is called promotion. Example of that I will give you is that customer will usually buy those products which are, say, on different promotional techniques are applied on those products. For instance, customers will prefer a product which is sold on 20% discount, 50% discount, which are sold on buy one and get one free. So if you are that type of customer who prefer to buy a product which are on discounts, you are somehow a proponent of sales orientation stage. If a company is a company that always have different promotional techniques, by promotional techniques, I don't, it does not mean that it is only always on discount. It may be that the companies are using sales tactics to sell the product. The companies have sales representatives, expert sales representative to sell the product. It may be an expensive product, but the sales representatives are so good that they are able to sell the product. It may not always be a discounted product. Then the market orientation stage, some book says that it is a contemporary stage of marketing. It is a latest stage of marketing. This is a stage which focus on customer satisfaction. In some books, it is called marketing concept as well. In some books, it is also called customer orientation stage. So it is a stage, it is a philosophy which states that companies who follow this philosophy, market orientation, they will always keep in mind the satisfaction of customers. Interestingly, coincidentally, yesterday I was discussing a case study of Amazon. I was discussing a case study of Amazon with my students. And Amazon is a famous company. I'm sure that you people are aware of the company. In Amazon company, on the top of their priorities is customer satisfaction. They make sure that their customers are always satisfied, and it's no wonder, because look at the company. It's one of the top ranked companies in the world. Why? Because they are following marketing orientation stage. Apart from the future, we'll talk about the future in a while. So their focus is on customer orientation. Their focus is on market orientation, marketing concept, or customers. When you focus on customers, this is very interesting. Why? Because you produce a product that the customer want. If you produce a product that the customer want, what happens is that customers always buy from you. It's very simple philosophy. You just produce a product that the customer want. If you produce a product that the customer want, why will not the customer buy it from you? So that philosophy states, which is marketing orientation, that produce a product keeping in mind customer satisfaction in mind. Don't look at your priorities. Don't look at what you like. Think about what customers like. Then the two very latest one, which is called the societal marketing concept and quality of life. I'll come to the societal marketing first. Societal marketing concept is a concept, a philosophy that states that do not only focus on customer satisfaction. Now pay attention, it's very interesting. This philosophy is a very latest philosophy. This philosophy states, do not only focus on customer satisfaction, but there are people who are involved in the whole process. There are people who are related to the customers. They are not your customers directly, but they are related to the customers. Take care of them as well. We call it the society. So you produce a product that is beneficial not only for the customers, but that is also beneficial for the rest of the society. And I'm sure that you have heard of the concept of, say, green marketing or green concepts, or all those concepts which have emerged a couple of years ago, all focused on societal marketing concept, because you produce a product that is not produced keeping in mind customer satisfaction only, but that is produced keeping in mind the rest of the society as well. So customer satisfaction along with the rest of the society. That is called societal marketing concept. The very latest one, which you may not find even in the books, it is called quality of life marketing. This philosophy is even a step higher in rank compared to the societal marketing. You remember I told you societal marketing concept is a concept that focuses on not only keeping in mind customers, but the society. Quality of life marketing concept says that do not only focus on the customers, pay attention, do not only focus on the customers, do not only focus on the society, but focus on everything. Focus on non-living things as well. Focus on the water, focus on the environment, focus on the plants, focus on everything around you. And that is what we call quality of life marketing. So you produce a product which is not only beneficial for the customers and the society, but it also does not negatively or adversely affect the environment. Why do you think that companies are spending billions of dollars, like automobile companies are spending billions of dollars to come up with the electric cars? Why? The society is pretty much happy with the normal cars. Why? Because they are trying to move to the sixth stage of marketing orientation. They are trying to produce a product like an electric car, which is not only beneficial for the customer and the society, but it does not impact the environment as well. It is called environmental green product, ecologically friendly product, environmentally friendly product. And the common philosophy related to that that you find in the research studies, you can find it. I have some papers on that. I was invited to Qatar last year, 2020. Yes, I was invited to Qatar last year, February, to present this topic that I am working on it now. I have a grant on it as well. It is called the topic of circular economy. Circular economy is the concept which have somehow merged the societal marketing and quality of life marketing. This is a concept that focuses on producing a product which can be recycled in a friendly manner. But it is more than that, actually. It can be recycled in such a way that the waste of one product become a product as well. It's a very interesting concept. The waste of one product become a product as well. So you are not actually wasting anything. You have a process where the waste is further produced, further refined to produce another product. And we know that companies are doing it. The famous company like Pepsi and Coke are already doing it. I'm sure that you have heard of the example of Pepsi company drink like Twister. I'm sure that is in your countries as well, a Twister drink, or we have Minute Maid, a very famous drink where you find an orange drink, simple plain orange drink, and you also find an orange drink with pulp inside. So pulp is actually the recycled remains of the product inside it. And then if you read the case studies of these company like Twister or Twister company or Coke company, Minute Maid, you'll find out that they do not only produce pulp to add into the juice, they also use further it to produce skincare products, to produce paper from it, to produce fertilizer from it. So you see that oranges, one orange is used not only to take juice from it, but also multiple other products, the concept of the circular economy. So very interesting concept. Some of you who are PhD students and listening to me, look into this topic. This topic has been researched rarely in the marketing area. I've started researching it 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago. I'm working on the topic from the marketing perspective, but we do not have a lot of research studies on circular economy from marketing perspective. So look into those topics, those who are PhD students and who have yet to select a topic. So it's a very promising topic and a very contemporary topic. Let's get to what you people have been waiting for. Okay, it took me a long time to reach here. I will just try to be quick on this part. And that is the future of marketing. Now, the future, we don't know about the future, but that is what we have seen in the movies, right? Interestingly, what we see in the movies is somehow becoming a reality, right? Take an example of a movie that you have watched 10 to 15 years ago. Don't you think that it is becoming a reality? Previously, I remember in my time, I'm not very old, but not very young as well. 10 to 15 years ago, we used to watch a movie like Star Wars or things like that, where these people would wear these goggles kind of thing where they could see other things. It is everywhere available. The VR glasses are everywhere, right? The VR goggles are everywhere. Now, even we have Google glasses, Apple glasses. Apple are also coming up with it, by the way. The glasses which can actually tell you so much thing. These are normal glasses, like these normal glasses that you can wear, but these glasses will have more than just looking through a transparent screen. It have actually information for you. It some demos that I have seen, it can actually tell you the profile of people. So you actually ask it, it tells you the profile of who are you looking at, what social media profile the person have, how many followers the person have, what kind of likes and dislikes this person have. This is the future of marketing, and the future is here, my lovely audience. Let's go and see some of the amazing things that you already have seen, but some of them you may not have heard of. IoT, famous thing, Internet of Things. Internet of Things is a concept, it is not a concept of future anymore. Internet of Things is a concept that has started roughly 10 to 15 years ago, where you can use internet to communicate with devices, to communicate with things. For example, you can use your internet to tell your microwave oven to heat up your food before you arrive. You can see your cameras on your smartphones, no matter you're wherever in the world. These are called Internet of Things. That was once a future, but now it is a very handy thing. I can use my phone to see the cameras that are installed on my home. I can switch on and off the AC, air conditioners in my home. I can switch on and off the coffee maker in my home. These are called Internet of Things. When internet is used to connect with physical, non-living things. And once it was a future, it is no more a future. But why I included it? Because the revolution is coming even in the Internet of Things. Now, there is a new thing. You may note it down with you if you're interested. I'm sure that you have heard something in marketing, which is called, not in marketing, in business. You have heard of something which is called B2B and B2C, right? Business to business and business to consumer. Now, the new concept related to Internet of Things that is emerging is called M2M. M2M. So M2M is a concept. It's called machine to machine, where a machine communicates with another machine and solve the problems without human intervention. So we are now moving to an era where human intervention is reduced. Why are we discussing Internet of Things in marketing? Because it would not be a surprise in the coming days where you will open your fridge, but before you open your fridge, you will see an ad of Coke or Pepsi on it. You will see an ad of McDonald's on it, on the screens that are already on the fridge. And this is not a surprise. You can actually go nowadays to any of the upscale shopping malls, the appliances, the home appliances, and you can actually find a refrigerator which can be connected with the internet and which has a nice screen like a tablet on it, and you can actually see things on it. It would not be a surprise the next time you wake up and go to a washroom to brush your teeth in the morning and you read the news on the mirror in which you are looking at yourself. So smart mirrors are already there. This is called Internet of Things, right? Then the Internet of Things, I told you why I included it there in the future of marketing, because advancement in the Internet of Things are coming at a very rapid speed. So we see things, for example, take an example of Tesla. I'm sure that you've heard of a Tesla car. It's an electric car. Now, Tesla car is an Internet of Things example, where Tesla, an automobile company, have produced a car which can drive automatically on the highway. You actually don't need to touch anything. You just sit and it can take you from one location to another location. Why it is not a surprise for us right now? Because all the big automobile manufacturers have already incorporated it. We have, for example, BMW, Mercedes, Audi, Volvo. All these companies are already having now autopilot systems there. But not only that, that Internet of Things that they have. Now, some of my friends who are living in the United States, they actually have Tesla, and I communicated with them, and depending on which model you have, but some of the things, I'm not marketing Tesla, by the way, I don't have it, but I'm just saying that it is one of the companies that is related to this example of Internet of Things. If you're driving a car, a Tesla car on a highway, on a straight highway, those of you who have driven on straight highways, long highways, it is very boring, because you don't see anything. It's a straight highway and it is quite normal. You feel sleepy, and you normally sleep as well on the steering wheel. Now, Tesla car have incorporated the Internet of Things concept, where while you are holding a steering wheel, it also read you at the same time. It read the pulses that you are generating. So if the car sense that you have slept on the highway, the car will automatically park itself on the side of the highway and give you small shocks, electric shocks, to wake you up. And just imagine, this is like, wow. Yeah, this is, now why I'm telling you that in the marketing, because if this is already there, it means that sooner or later marketers will take advantage of this, and the next time you are walking around, you will see advertisements. You will see advertisements around you. You will see promotions around you. And these promotions are getting dangerously tempting now. And I will quickly move to the dangerously tempting part. Interestingly, we are tempted in such a way that we don't know that we are tempted. And that is the dangerous part. Because when we know that we are influenced by an advertisement or a promotion, that is okay. But the dangerous part is that we don't know that we are somehow, I should not use the word hypnotized, but like you are hypnotized by these marketers and you go and buy the product. I'll go to another point to make it clear to you. Artificial intelligence, AI, is there now. Artificial intelligence, in simple word, to make it easy to you, like machine learning. A computer learns the algorithm and the computer learns your behavior, and then the computer behave in a way that is beneficial for you. However, I have my own reservation on this point. Sometimes the machines behave in a way that is beneficial for you. Sometimes they don't behave in a way that is beneficial for you. I'll give an example of the computer that I have, and some of you may have it as well. If you happen to have the new MacBook, right? The new MacBook battery system is designed in an artificial intelligent manner. Usually we plug in the wire to charge the battery, right? And if we are on our desk for a longer time, we keep that plug on and the battery is 100% charged and we don't know, and it keeps on the electricity pumping into the battery. Now that mechanism have been changed, and now automatically the battery charging stops as soon as it reaches 100%. Now that's a good thing. But the bad thing is a lot of us never unplug it, because if you're working from home, why would I unplug my computer, right? I'm not somewhere else. I'm right on my desk and electricity is there. Now that is dangerous for the battery cycles, because your battery have to drain out at least once in certain period of time. Now, the new systems that are coming, the new computers that are coming, it has incorporated artificial intelligence in such a way that it understands after a certain period of time your battery usage mechanism. Now, it automatically stops the electricity even if it is on charge and start draining out the battery, so the battery life increases. That is what we call artificial intelligence. Another example of artificial intelligence is, before you search something in Google, you start writing words. You are searching for me in Google, you write TAH. The moment you are just completing my name, but Google is giving you a lot of options. These are called artificial intelligence options. The machine is giving you options based on your preferences, and that's significantly differ from me to you to others. Let's go further. Augmented reality. Wow, what an amazing thing augmented reality is. I'm sure that you have heard of the very, very recent development in the future, and that is metaverse. I'm sure you've heard of metaverse, right? Metaverse. Even Facebook have changed its name to Meta. Metaverse is an artificial virtual world, and there are many worlds out there. So there are many universes. You'll be using augmented reality, we call it AR, in order to go to those worlds. And the normal example would be to wear the VR goggles. So you go there, and now I think last week scientists have also produced now the gloves where you can actually feel the touch. So the gloves in the artificial intelligence environment will make you feel the touch. And I was reading yesterday, if I'm not wrong, yesterday, it astonished me. Yesterday, one piece of land in the metaverse, in the artificial intelligent place, in the augmented place, one piece of land was sold for 2.3 million US dollars. That is what we call augmented reality. It's not real. It's just what do you call hologram, or it is just software. So you go there, you interact, you live there. Please do watch a video. One of the reporters spent 24 hours in the metaverse, in the augmented reality. It will amaze you. Why I'm talking about that? Because a lot of people are now moving toward augmented reality and metaverse. Advertisement would not be on the signboards on the highway anymore. Advertisements would be in the metaverse for you. So you wear goggles, you go there in the metaverse, and you see signboards and moving signboards and good signboards there. And I'm sure that you've heard of NFTs now. NFTs are also emerging. Those of you who know about NFTs, that is, in simple words, that is a computer art. I would say it in simple words. NFT technically means non-fungible tokens, but a painting which is in the computers. So one of the paintings was sold for 69 million US dollars, and that painting is not supposed to be in the metaverse. So you want to see that painting, you have to go there in the metaverse. To go there, it is a fee for that. Just like you go and visit the museum, you go and visit so okay, I'm running out of time. I'll be quick here. Big data is the future of marketing. Big data means collecting large sum of data from
You
different.
have 3 minutes left. Doctor.
3 minutes is not
Yeah.
enough, but I'll try to finish it, inshallah. So that's what I told you, right? In each one of them, I love to talk about the big data, collecting large sum of data to find out what my consumers like. So companies like Walmart, the biggest company in the world, Walmart collect millions of data on daily basis. And that data is then analyzed to market to the customers what the customers like. Now, that is the future. And that's why I put it in the bold. Internet of brains, where your brain can be now connected in live with the internet. One university by the name of Wits University have already successfully tried it, where a living human brain was connected with the internet in real time. So the brain and the internet communicated in real time without any problem. So the next time you don't need Google. In the future, you don't need Google. Google is already in your mind. You just think and it is there. And that is scary as well. They call it BrainsTernet. You can note it down with you and search it for later on. It is called BrainsTernet. And now the last one for today is called interactive dreaming. Interactive dreaming is where the marketers and the scientists successfully connected with human dreams. So the next time you dream of McDonald's, it is not coming from your dream. The marketers have injected it in your mind through interactive dreaming. And that is what we called the future of marketing, my audience. And I hope that you enjoyed this lecture. Neuromarketing is related to interactive marketing as well, where your brain is in a way manipulated that you automatically tend towards product. Neuromarketing, the combination of neuroscience and marketing is called neuromarketing. With that, thank you so much for this opportunity. I hope that you liked it. I would love to have questions from you if there are any. Thank you, Mr. Fins. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tahir, for your very engaging and interesting presentation. Before we are moving to question and answer, and while waiting question from the audience as well, we would like to welcome Prof. Doris to present her presentation. So please welcome Prof. Doris.
Thank you, moderator. Can you see my slide?
Yes, Prof.
Yes.
All right.
The slide.
So very good afternoon to everybody. I'm going to talk about enhancing digital marketing among student entrepreneurs. I think Dr. Tahir did a very good opening for me as well, because he gave a definition of what is marketing, digital marketing, the past, the present, and the future. So I'm going to take a new take on this topic for today. So the role of the students, the university. In traditional teaching, the students, especially the students in entrepreneurship course, doing business in the physical sense. It's face-to-face, and some of the students do not even do face-to-face sales of their products. They don't have physical business, but it's only in theory, it's only in plan. But when the pandemic came about, it became a challenge for the students and also for the lecturers. How are we going to deliver this course? So in terms of the materials were the same. We were giving topics on entrepreneurship, explaining what is an entrepreneur, and also the mindset of an entrepreneur, entrepreneurial business. We were talking about business model canvas, ethics and legal issues in doing business, and digital marketing. But all this in the traditional sense would have been face-to-face, and some of them in theory and some of them putting into practice of real business. But with the onset of the challenge of the COVID-19, we realized that we have to do our classes online. So besides having the classes online, we realized that this is an opportunity to encourage the students to have their businesses online as well. So we engaged with them, not just to form their business groups, but also how to come about doing a good marketing strategy. So students were given information on how to open up their business. In Malaysia, it's very fortunate for the students because the Ministry of Education facilitates the opening of businesses for the students as well. In fact, entrepreneurship is a mandatory course for all university students in year 1, whether it's in semester 1 or semester 2. So when they set up their businesses, the students were very much immersed in opening up their business entity, but they had to realize also why they had to set up their business. What was the business focus? What are the customers? Who are the customers? Were they going to be meeting a specific needs, or were they going to be blindly producing products? So we had different sets of students. Students were in the mainstream campus, registered as regular students. And there were also students who were registered for the part-time classes because they were already having other full-time paid jobs. And it was also important that the students identify if there were any stakeholders that they could work with, and also the impacts of their business, whether it is the short term, medium term, and long term. In terms of evaluation and monitoring, we encourage the students to give open and transparent evaluations on weekly basis, so that it's not just on their part that they do the monitoring and evaluation, but lecturers also will have a part in this monitoring and evaluation. Sometimes we find the students are too bogged down with their classes that they don't have time for doing business. Sometimes the students are doing marketing, but the strategy is not right. Sometimes they are doing advertisements, but the advertisement material is not attractive. So at every stage, at every leg, we give them pointers. And when we give them pointers, it's not just us with the knowledge and subject material, but we bring in the experts, those who are in business. And we also bring in big players like Lazada, Shopee, so that they can share their platform accessibility, the assets, and also the benefits of going online and engaging in these social media platforms. Some of the students took on the challenge and registered their business in these formal platforms. Some of the students said, no, this seems too big. The commitment is too much for us. So they said, okay, we will just use the normal social media platforms using Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and also just using chats. So the students program is one formal program that we carried out to encourage entrepreneurship. And we also were teaching about marketing. There was also another set, although I don't have the material here fully, but I will just relate to you offhand that there was another set of participants who were being taught about entrepreneurship and marketing, and they were from the indigenous community. And this was equally challenging because one, being an indigenous community, they were marginalized and they did not have a full command of the English language or the Malay language. And some of them were not even good in writing, but they were excellent with technical skills in capitalizing social media. All they needed was a little nudge in the right direction. So the sharing that I'm going to do mostly today is about students who are in the full-time program and the part-time program. So there were 69 students in the full-time program, and they formed 14 entrepreneurship entities. In the part-time program, there were 27 students, and they formed 5 entrepreneurship programs. So as explained earlier, we started with group formation because students needed to be able to communicate with each other. It did not matter whether they were residing near to each other or whether they are far, because everything was online. But what was more important is they understood each other, they could work with each other, and they had a common ground to address. So if they had an interest in selling a new product, they were interested in innovating something new, then they would collate together. There were also students who were interested in doing dropship. There were also students who were doing bakery. So it all depended on what was their interest and their common grounds. So having formal registration, they embarked on various platforms to sell their products. And the business model canvas, as shown here, was taught for all of them, all the different groups. So several weeks were spent for the student to really scrutinize and detail this, because if they did not have a niche product, there was no value proposition, then they might not be able to go far. And if their product was just based on passion, for example, if I'm interested in sewing and I did a sewing of flower and I said I wanted to sell that, but that is just my passion. But if there was no demand for it, then I will not be able to sell it. So students also had to understand that their business model canvas, in a nutshell, was driving them, motivating them, setting the pace forward to identifying their products, setting the pathway of identifying the demographics of the clients, setting the rules and regulations, the activities, the key partners, and also most importantly, the cost structure and the benefits that they will be making in the short term and the long term. If they had a proper plan, if they worked closely on this, then they will not be misguided or stray away from their path. Recording of sales and profit was very important for the students, because some students came in blindly and said, okay, I have this much of money and I want to invest it. Some students said, I do not have any money. So it was important for the students to say how much they can bring together for their business. And for the copywriting, FB ads, we had the experts coming in to give guidelines. All right, so what was the issue? COVID-19, yes, because that meant business had to be online. They were unable to have face-to-face interactions with members. They were also unable to have face-to-face interaction with their potential key partners and also with the customers. Thus, they were unable to sell directly. So marketing strategy has to be right. Now, funding, if there was insufficient funds, this is also going to impact them, because marketing, there is paid marketing, there is also free marketing. So if they have insufficient funding, that means this will limit the marketing avenues that they will be taking up. Also, availability of funding also will impact on the mode of their business, whether it is a bakery, a product that they are making daily, weekly, monthly, and selling it, or if they are going to use the dropship method. And keeping momentum going was also a problem identified by them, because they were studying and also they were conducting business. So how much time to put in to do the marketing? How much time to put into put in the brochures, and to which social media groups? Now, for the full-time students, the items that they sold were cookies. There were 9 groups. Health product or health crisp, edible health product, okay, a healthy snack, you could say. And there was one that sold a milk-based drink. And for non-food items, one group sold shawl, another group sold t-shirt, and another group sold stockings. For the part-time students, for the food items, there were 2 groups that sold cookies. And for the non-food items, 1 group sold cosmetic accessories, another group sold shawl, and another group sold stockings. Now, what is the revenue? Okay, right. So I will use the USD value. This is a column with the ringgit Malaysia. So in terms of the value in USD, for the full-time students, the most profit made was group 14 with $1,038. Okay, I'll just use the roundup figure here. And this was a dropship method that the students used. And this product was also very popular in Malaysia because the ambassador for the product was a very popular icon in the community. And in social media, it was already being promoted, being marketed. So the students could very much capitalize, can ride on what is already being done in the social media by the parent company. Okay, the least profit made was Choco Jar, which was $93. And sorry, not that one, this one, Natural Crisps, which was $34. So Natural Crisps is made of bitter melon or bitter gourd. And this is something relatively new that has been, you could say, popularized during this season. It's not new to be marketed as in a daily consumption in restaurants, but as a healthy snack to be marketed, it is a new concept. Hence, probably that is one of the reasons why it did not make much profit. Okay, for the part-time students, the highest profit made was for shakely and cookies, which was 290. You can see that there is a huge gap between the sales made, the value in USD, by the full-time students and the part-time students. Although the number of students per group is almost the same, it's either 4 or 5. But the full-time students had more sales because they had more time. During the weekdays, they are studying, but they have less classes and they have more time to do their sales and marketing and promotions. Whereas the part-time students, they were only able to do their sales and marketing during the weekends or late in the night. And having less time to do the marketing and sales, hence the promotions that went out was also minimal. So this would explain why their sales recorded was much less compared to the other group. So these are sharings of the activities. This is the copywriting activity. These are the presentations, Facebook promotions, and also classes by Shopee. So what are the marketing strategies that they used? So although it's during the COVID season, the students fully capitalized the social media, and some of them also managed to have direct selling. So direct selling, they were selling to their neighbors and also family members that lived nearby. Social media was most popular through Instagram, WhatsApp, Shopee, Facebook, and Telegram. So what was the strategies and challenges that helped the students or was a hindrance? So in terms of factors that helped to boost the sales through digital marketing was interesting and creative content that kept the students and also the customers updated with the trends and also the interest. increase customer relation to increase customers' loyalty to the product, sharing customers' feedback on social media to make them believe in the product and also in the marketing strategy, promotion and sales discounts. I think this was also mentioned by Dr. Tahir earlier. With every purchase, customer gets a gift. Everybody loves gifts. And when there's something free offer or an add-on product or a certain percentage increase if they buy a certain number, they just love that promotions. What are the challenges encountered with digital marketing? Okay, learning how to be a creative digital marketeer. Most of the students, yes, they are young people. They are very much into internet activities. They are very digital savvy. But being an internet or digital marketeer, it's a different game altogether. They really had to learn a lot of things and also had to keep up to changing trends, targeting the right audience effectively, and ensuring that the pricing was competitive. It is quite tough to deal with the customer because we don't even know each other. Everything is online. And for the shawl sellers, they said people were rarely buying shawls, and it's kind of seasonal. In fact, they made their sales when it was during the celebrations for the Muslims. Some of the products, the demand was seasonal, and as students, they have problem like lack of time to post the products in social media. Right, so what are the suggestions to improve the marketing strategy to improve the sales? So these are suggestions from the students themselves. Know the target customers, identify customers' problems clearly, set the right price, promote the product consistently, personal branding, schedule postings, influencer marketing. Marketing strategies should involve vigorous creative thinking to attract more attention to the brand, whether it's physically or digitally. Even though the marketing systems are fully automated, we should really consider hiring a marketing expert to manage all the platforms smoothly if we have the budget to do so. Marketing does not have to be a hard selling method. We could also do marketing that inspires the audience to buy the product using reverse psychology. Stories is always the best way to get more attention. And when there is testimony from the customers, it also helps in marketing and promoting the product sales. And when there's video uploads as well, this will help for the marketing. I think there's an interruption by Hilwilmi. You need to mute. Hilwilmi? Yes, thank you. So what are the lessons learned? Adaptability. So the students were able to adapt to selling online and doing digital marketing. And this is resilience among the students. Among the indigenous community, this was also found to be very true. In times of survival, in times of desperate situations, people will adapt and learn. And like what Dr. Tahir mentioned earlier, the using of the various platforms, the changes in the modality, that is very challenging. But yes, people will adapt. And the consumers also will adapt. So the need to understand both the customers and the sellers, how the interplay will eventually have an impact on the number of sales made, profit made, that is important. Changing from traditional to the hybrid mode is very important today because we know globally things are getting better. It is becoming an endemic. But in some pockets of societies, people are still not moving about freely. So the online method is still ongoing. In fact, in some communities, although people have started going out freely, consumers have realized that there is joy, benefit, experience in the online platform. So purchases made online sometimes can be so easy, and they prefer to use that. Integrated and easy online payment mode is of utmost importance. And artificial intelligence and Internet of Things in business has to be made more easy, not just in the business platform online, but this also has to be translated in the mode of production. How fast will the products become made available, whether it is in the services sector, agricultural sector, or the manufacturing sector. Even in tourism, AI and IoT is beginning to make a big role. If this is mechanized fully, the seller and the consumer can be updated and be kept abreast on availability of services and products, and also in terms of pricing. And one does not have to worry about asymmetry of knowledge and being cheated about the pricing. One within seconds can compare the prices, the offerings, the benefits, and be able to make a smart and guided choice. Understanding the customer in the new platform today is very important. Customer has demographics that are very diverse. From a young child, guided by the parents, youths, to the older person. What are their purchasing behavior patterns? This is something that needs to be studied by the entrepreneur. And as students at the university, this is also something very important to be studied as well. Ethical and regulatory issues for a safe and secure business and customer experiences. Yes, whether it is purchasing face-to-face or online, we are always wondering what are the ethical implications of shopping in shop A or shop B, whether it is based on religious requirements, ethical requirements, moral requirements, and also safety and security issues. This is of utmost importance, and clarity, transparency, if it is made available through the marketing promotions, this will help the customer to make more guided choices. So this is all from me. Please do ask questions, because when we ask questions, we can be empowered. Thank you. Back to you, moderator.
Thank you very much, Prof. Doris. It's a very interesting topic as well. We have learned a lot from it. And I think we are expecting some questions from our audience. But while we have not received any question, I might have some question for both speakers. Which the first one I will be addressed to Dr. Tahir, since he has mentioned how the marketing he proposed as a definition of the marketing and how it has been evaluated during during the decades. So what I have in mind is that what have not changed in the marketing during those ages, because you have mentioned so many changes and so many evolution because of the existence of new advanced technology, and what have not changed so far.
What have not changed?
Yes.
The only thing that has not changed is change. The rest of everything is changing, because that is what the definition of change is, that everything in this world is subject to change. The only thing that you can say that is not changing is change itself, because everything else is changing. Well, that was a philosophical statement. Let me get to a simple answer now. What has not changed over the time in marketing? Well, I normally tell my students that to the undergrad that the book I'm teaching, and to the masters that a book I'm teaching, the definition I've noticed that even when I was I was an undergrad student. I remember those were the same kind of definitions that I also had, but it is just twisted and it is just refined to match the needs of the market today. So it's the same concept, customer satisfaction. It has been there for like 20 years, the same customer satisfaction. The needs of the customers may be changing. The satisfaction is exactly the same. Customer loyalty is exactly the same. Customer retention is exactly the same. If efforts to put in order to build customer retention, customer loyalty, and customer satisfaction may have changed over the time as well. So if you ask me to pick one or two topics of marketing that has not changed over the time, I would say is that the topics of customer satisfaction has not changed. Well, again, it is a debatable topic in itself, because with the emergence of so many competitors nowadays, our expectations have changed. And since our expectations have changed, it also have impacted somehow our satisfaction. So I don't think that we see any change. We see something which has not changed over the last decades or over the last 20 years, because we see that things are growing. We see that things are improving in any field of study. Either it is marketing, or it is entrepreneurship, or it is any field of study. You see that things are emerging, things are improving, and things are changing. So yeah, I think that that things will change no matter what. Everything will change.
Yes, thank you.
Dr. Finn, you're now
Yeah,
doctor. I can call you Dr. Finn now.
thank-
How does it feel? Normally, when it feels really, really different the first few weeks. You'll be okay, inshallah.
yeah, thank you very much. And I think you have made it clear. And I have another question for the Prof. Doris, because it's very interesting topics, and it's become of the trend nowadays, the entrepreneurship, and especially during the pandemic. So many youth generation and students wants to dive into this very dynamic world. So what do you think what skills or capability they should have before going into that particular field? And you can view it from any perspective, but if you can add some marketing skills that they should have, then it will be more preferred also. And also, the next question still advised to you is what consideration they should be keep in mind before getting to that field, especially during this pandemic, maybe. Thank you. Time is yours.
All right. Thank you so much for this question. Well, what is important is you have a flexible mindset. You should not have the mindset that I can't do it. You must be open to ideas. That is one. Number two, I think it is also important that you should be open to networking, working with others. Number three, everybody has different things that they can come and bring for the initiative. If we are working alone, yes, we can also do it. But if we have more people in our project, it is better because we are sharing the burden and we can also share the profits. So working together in a team is much more desirable for me, in my perspective, compared to if you are taking up this challenge to work alone. Now, what skills that you bring to this initiative can be different, because some people have leadership skills, some people have organizational skills, some people have excellent PR skills, and some people have very good Photoshop skills, ICT skills, marketing skills. So it can vary. And some people only bring money, and all the others, they say, hands up, I can't do it. So it does not matter what skills you bring. What is more important is you be frank about it. Upfront, let's say if you have 4 people or there is 3 people in your partnership, in that partnership, you have to be honest and say, this is what I bring to the table in our initiative to do our activity. Because when we are open, and then we know what everybody has to offer for the initiative, for the entrepreneurship program, and also for making more profits. And another thing that is also important is when we delegate, we have to be committed to that activity. Commitment is important. We cannot just say, I'm going to lay back and you guys do the activity. If everybody does that, then who is running the show? We have to take responsibility because this is our business. That's my take on this. I see in the chat box, there is a question on business model canvas. The students that did the business model canvas was during that semester, during the time that they were doing their business. So they started from the very first week getting information on the business model canvas. So it was half an hour of formation and the next 1 hour starting to know about business model canvas. I am the type of person who likes to give the students access to my communication. So students can chat with me and also ask me information and how to improve their business model canvas. This is important as an educator because we are giving them knowledge and we are also giving them information on how to make it moving forward. So if we do not guide them, then they are left on their own, and that will be unfair for the students. So yes, 1 semester, but within that 1 semester, they are continuously building and improving their business model canvas. And we also have experts from the business, from the industry also coming and giving their information on, hey, I think your model needs to be tweaked a little bit, changed a little bit. Can you add on a little bit more? Yeah, that's from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Doris. I think we have another question for both speakers. First question is for Prof. Tahir and also for Prof. Doris. Some trend in issue in marketing is about halal marketing. What do you think the future of halal industry? So hope that this discussion could be make other discussion about halal marketing in the future. So do you have any answer for that question? You want to put some insight on that?
Well, halal marketing is a very, very valid and very good question. Halal marketing is an emerging topic in marketing, and in fact, in practice, practical implication of the marketing is a lot. Now, even the Western countries, in the non-Muslim countries, the countries with non-Muslims in comparatively like Western countries or European countries, they're also looking into now the halal marketing concept because of the huge number of Muslim populations in those countries. Not only that, I have noticed that we people, those of us who are Muslims, we have to look into the concepts of marketing from a more Islamic perspective as well. I normally tell my students and those who I discuss with that a lot of these concepts have been here in our scriptures for centuries now. And I normally give the example of customer relationship management, since that is my expertise as well. I'll give one example to those who are, for example, Muslims. I'm sure that they would agree with me. One of the hadith of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is that try to say salam to the people that you know or you don't know, which means that you greet people that you know or you don't know. If you look into this hadith, for instance, you will find out that the main objective behind it is actually to have good relationships, and that you can start and apply in the marketing area as well. That when your customers come, greet the customers with a smile. And companies have actually incorporated this concept to some extent. We see that the companies are trained, the frontliners in the companies are trained, the customer service representatives in the companies are trained that always smile to the customers. In fact, I was discussing this case with some of my master students, that now we see that in some companies, like in banks, we find out that the customer service representatives are given these badges with smiley face on it, because it is not easy to smile for 8 hours non-stop, right? So at least a badge is there to give you an impression that we welcome you. And these concepts are very valid concepts of halal marketing concepts. Not only that, of course, it's a more detailed topic. We can dig into further this topic, like halal advertising, what type of ingredient should be included in the promotion. I'm not talking about the product, the promotion itself, to make it acceptable Islamically. So it's I think a valid area and a very promising area of research. And those who are interested, irrespective of your religion, either you are Muslim or not Muslim, but halal marketing is an emerging area. A lot of the people that I know and I studied who have published in the area of halal marketing are actually not Muslims. So it's an area that perhaps the students can look into and research. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. Well, talking about smileys, smiling on your faces. Today we can all smile and we can see each other if you're face to face. But if you're wearing your mask, nobody can see that. All right. Talking about halal products, yes, that is, it's not an emerging business. It's been there. It's been in the market for some time. It's just probably reimaging and rebranding. But definitely, this is a huge potential, and the business will definitely pick up more. What I would like to highlight in terms of halal industry, the importance that needs to be highlighted is standardization. It's not just about halal products, but tohiban. That means the product has to be clean. It has to be safe for consumption. If it is not clean and not safe, but just follows the Islamic prayer regulation, then it will fail to be safe for the consumers. So in terms of halal and tohiban, has to be clearly stated on the packaging. And also at the same time, when products are being marketed, one also needs to be careful in terms of using any animal products or non-animal products in the cooking, making the products and making it available to the wider community. Because sometimes people are not sensitive to religious needs or religious sensitivities of various communities. So it does not matter which community you're coming from, but if you have any religious sensitivity, when you pick up a product, you would want to know whether that is morally safe for me, religiously safe for me, whether it adheres to my needs. And another thing is this product not just halal or tohiban, but is safe for me because I might have allergies, for example. So if I am allergic to a particular product, then I might not be able to consume. So labeling is very important, and standardization of this labeling, if it is across the globe, and also for global local consumption, because sometimes people say, oh, this is just for domestic market, I don't have to adhere to this labeling. I think we should have a change in that mindset. It does not matter if your product is for domestic or international consumption. It has to adhere to the principles of the labeling properly. Thank you. That's my take on this.
Thank you very much, Prof.
So very nicely, Prof. Doris have highlighted. In fact, it came in my mind one of the very interesting topics in marketing related to halal marketing is that I researched it, I think, long ago a little, and it is on deceptive marketing. Deceptive marketing. So like it is one of the common allegations on marketers or marketing is that they lie. And that, if you align it with the halal marketing, would be a very promising area there. You know, one of the things that we have to avoid is to lie in the marketing. Now, when you are not lying on in the marketing, and very related to what Prof. Doris mentioned is that, for instance, labeling, what ingredients are you using? Now, we know that companies are manipulating the labels. You know, there are certain ingredients which may not be healthy for the customers, but they change the name from sugar to something else, from sodium to something else. They put these difficult formulas. One of my PhD students, he's from Indonesia. One of my PhD students have done his PhD, completely as a doctor now, PhD on actually halal marketing, halal advertisement. And these concepts were highlighted, that the labeling issues, the lying issues in the marketing, you know, the people lie about things, that their product is the best product in the, we see every now and then the company said that my company is #1 company. Who made you #1? Like, give us more explanation to that, right? Every company, every person, every product say that they are #1, but who made them #1? This is what the halal marketing concept will look into, and I think it will be a promising attempt.
Great, thank you, Prof. Doris, Prof. Tahir. I think it will be a nice discussion if we discuss about the dark side of marketing, right? About halal washing. So we already know about greenwashing. So I think we can found a new thing, halal washing, a fake halal. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for the very interesting insights, which open up for new research topic area for the future. And I think our discussion today is very engaging and very interesting, because we received another question from Mujahid Dakwa, addressed to Prof. Doris and Prof. Tahir. So his question is, could be, there is other definition of marketing in the nearest future, because of the cause the environment have changed. So is there any new definition of the marketing due to the environmental change? And also the second question is focused on how the consumer journey concept starting from knowing the product or service until decision to buy the product or service in digital marketing, because he is interested in digital marketing, specifically on consumer behavior in digital marketing. So I think he wants to know a little bit, or gain some knowledge on the concept of digital marketing.
Okay. First, your first question, will the definition of marketing change? I have two answers to this. The central concept of the definitions, any definition, either it is marketing or management or any, it will always stay the same. How that approach is done will continuously change and emerge with the passage of time. So the concept, for example, of customer satisfaction would always be there. It will not change. All the companies will always have to go and satisfy the customer. How do they do that? It will change. And I told you that now the emergence of technology in the marketing is very significant, and perhaps you will see in the near future the definition of marketing incorporating facets from technology there, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, just like I mentioned, or big data, or now the scholars are actually mixing and merging science with marketing, and they are coming up with things like neuromarketing, I told you, where neuroscience and marketing are combined together. You are interested in consumer behavior, I would really suggest you to read a little about neuromarketing to understand how consumer psychology work. You asked also about the models of the consumer behavior. Is it different in the digital environment? I do teach digital marketing as a subject. the basic model of 5-step model of consumer buying behavior is actually the same model with the addition of 1 or 2 steps. The basic model starts with need recognition, searching for alternatives, evaluation of alternatives, then the purchase stage and the post-purchase stage. But now these stages are slightly changed with the addition of, as I mentioned, the technology. Then now you have need recognition, then searching for alternatives, evaluation of alternatives. Then one more stage is incorporated between these 2 stages, and they call it the selection stage. So in digital marketing, I'm sure that you are aware that when you go to online platforms like, say, Amazon or eBay or Lazada or Shopee, if you have it there, you see that they have an option where you choose a product and it goes to your cart, shopping cart, and you have to check it out. So the checking out and selection stages are included in the consumer behavior model, which are somehow missing in the traditional consumer behavior model. Along with that thing, there is one more thing that you should look into it, which is a very promising, again, a very promising area of research in marketing. It is called shopping cart abandonment. Shopping cart abandonment. So people normally add product in the shopping cart, but they don't buy it then. They just, the products stay there for 10 days, 5 days, and eventually they delete it from there. And that now the marketers have to play a role to make sure that the product that are added in the shopping cart, they are now checked out and people buy that. And marketers do use mechanisms like, for example, try that. Add a product in the shopping cart. After 2 days or 3 days or certain number of days, the app will send you a notification. One normal notification is, have you forgotten something in your shopping cart? They're reminding you that you have something there. They're trying to motivate you to sell it, to buy it. Now, if you happen to go and click on that message and you go to the shopping cart and you still didn't buy and you leave the product there and you exit the app, you will see that after a few days, the app will again send you a message, and this message will look different. This message would not be that you have forgotten something in the shopping cart. Rather, this message would be, the product in the shopping cart, the price have reduced by 1%. So buy it. So these are all the mechanisms the marketers are using in order to make sure that in the digital environment, the shopping cart are not abundant and you check out the product. I think it answers your 2 questions, I hope. Yes, Prof. Doris? I'll pass it to you now. Sorry, your microphone is off.
Right, yeah. I guess you have actually answered everything comprehensively, but I would like to just add a component of the role of the consumer. Maybe in today's world, the role of the consumer could be greater in determining what is made available, the quality of the product, and how it gets to the consumer. So this would be probably a changing element in the marketing aspect itself. So the demands that the consumer makes probably would make changes in the quality aspect, in the speed of the delivery, the distribution mode, and also maybe the packaging. Probably also in terms of the diversity of the consumers also becomes more apparent. It's not just one blanket consumer out there. The consumer is very diverse, and being online, this becomes even more heightened. It's not just everybody in a particular country, but it's global. It's not just one particular ethnicity, but so many different ethnicities, so many wants, so many likes, so many differentiations between the consumers. So probably that would have a bearing on the marketing strategy as well. That's all from me. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Prof. Doris. So by curiosity, since we are talking about the digital marketing, and maybe it has something to do with all of these advanced technologies, OIT, Internet of Things, and all of the big data, artificial intelligences. So because Prof. Doris is interested on consumer rights, and I'm curious, is it the consumer rights still exist nowadays since those and how is what role it plays in this time? Because now our choice is being manipulated or being influenced more because those technology understand our behavior and who we are. So sometimes we don't buy stuff based on what we really want, but what the technology or the internet, the artificial intelligence brings to us. So we forced to buy it because it's already proposed, it's already introduced to us. So we think, oh, we need it, although we don't plan to buy it. So what is your thought on that?
All right, thank you for that question and observation. Yes, we as consumers, we have two things that we need and we want. So the things that we need is we have to have, for example, food, shelter, clothing. And in that category also, it has now been expanded by United Nations, various development proponents. For example, education is also included in that, health needs. So there are so many things that has been added into the needs category. And the other category of wants. Wants is something that makes our life easy, more pleasing, more satisfying also probably, but we can still live if we don't have them. But it makes our life much more comfortable. Now, whether we are influenced by media, by the marketing strategies, I think it goes back to the values that we ourselves hold. Are we easily persuaded? Some people just shut down everything that has to do with marketing. So if any promotional material that comes to them, they say, no, I don't need this, and they will just close it down. But there are some people immediately will open and wow, the latest handphones, the latest clothing, the latest cosmetics, the latest cars, whatever it is that is being bombarded, they will say, I need to have that. They wrongly use the word I need. Actually, they don't need it, but they feel that they need it. Now, why does that come up? Because it has to do with probably status, identity crisis, influenced by fear, by people around them. They are fearful that if they do not conform to certain standards set by their friends or their peers, they feel that, oh, I am of a substandard among their friends. Now, this influences also depends on how you are brought up. So if you have a strong barrier because you are so sure, I know what is my needs, I know what is my wants, I will set a demarcation line there, and I will buy only what I need. And if I have some extras after my savings, then I will go for my wants. And even then, if it is something rational, something that is valid for the day-to-day usage, I would go for it. Now, in Malaysia, we have consumer associations. We also have ministry that looks into this matter. We have a specific role to educate the consumers. And this role is being taken up by students, by NGOs, by professional academicians, so many organizations. Why is it that they are doing it? Because they realize that consumers are being easily swayed to purchase products. If you are familiar with basic, universal basic income, then you would realize that there are people who are advocating for everybody to have a minimal basic income to be given regardless of the job that they are doing, or regardless whether they have a job or not a job. With regards to this, that amount that is made available, a person would want to buy something that is basic needs first. And even basic needs, if food that is available is not a safe food, in quality, it is minimal quality, then it will be hazardous for that person's health. If it is in terms of emergency, there is no choice, a person would say, it's okay if it is not so safe. What is important is I can fill up my stomach, my family's stomach. But if it is in a normal condition, excuse me, a person would say, I only want the best quality and I need to have food sufficiency. So food security and food sufficiency becomes a very important issue at this time. Now, the various groups that advocates for consumer rights, I'm also part of this. We have an organization known as MACFI, Malaysian Association of Consumer and Family Economics. So what this type of organizations do is try to educate the consumers. Buy what you need first. Buy something that is of quality. If you are looking for halal products, make sure your products are halal. Don't simply purchase blindly. And this education is also embedded together with issues of redress. If you come across a seller that is not displaying price, that is not displaying the content of the product, then in Malaysia, we have a right to bring that seller to court. We can make complaints. There are various channels we can make complaints. This particular action is not available in many countries. And in Malaysia, it is so unique because we even have a ministry that advocates for consumer rights, that even sets up tribunals for the consumer claims, for also redress. And this is of utmost importance because if people make complaints about wrong products, products of substandard quality, then the seller will also be vigilant and say, I can only sell quality products. Wouldn't it be wonderful and great if all sellers are ethical, following the guidelines and say, I will only sell, for example, halal products. I will only sell products that are safe for children, if it is toys. I will sell the food that is safe and secure. So that is the type of things, yes, it may be something very ideal. It may seem a little bit difficult, but if everybody plays a role, we can get a little bit nearer to the goal that we are moving towards. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Prof.
Good afternoon.
I think thank you for both speakers for a very fruitful discussion and sharing your knowledge and expertise today.
Good afternoon, Prof. Dr. I'm Pascual. I have the last question for both Professor Tahir and Professor Padmini. I'm United Students Accounting from Dili, Timor-Leste. I am absorbed from the beginning until the end. I just I very appreciate. But one thing that not clear here is just we both professor and all of us here just talk about market and digitals. We are Asia. We are Africa, but we never talk a little bit about fragile countries in the Middle East or in Africa or in Asia. We just, as an Asian, or exclusively focus on the handmade or the innovation of developed countries' product, like capitalists and imperialisms, explorative. This is a very disappointing. as academicians, as experts, we need to talk a little bit about fragile countries, because I'm part of ASEAN's newborn countries. Indians is already go high in the heavens or in the sky. But one thing we need to, we don't forget our friends that live behind. For instance, in the Africa, fragile countries, many fragile countries in Africa, in Middle East. And in these things, we just support the developed countries in the one side, the other side. We face many things. The danger things is, for instance, green, democracy, many things, but we never talk about that one. Then how is Asia and Africa will go and as a equality with other countries when? And now we are in 2021. This is a big question. I'm sorry, and then this is my question. If we make any research in the future, at least put one variable for fragile countries and developing countries. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your question, Mr. And I think you have Prof. Doris and Prof.
First,
Tahir.
I'll respond to his query. It was actually not a question, rather a comment. I think both of us, myself and Prof. Doris, my presentation was actually not specifically related to any country. It was a general presentation, which can be applicable to any country, irrespective of where it is. Either it is in Asia, or it is in Africa, or it is a Western country. Yes, I do agree that in some of the countries, the emerging concepts are coming very slow. And you highlighted that some variables of research should be included from those countries. And I think it is up to you, people like you, who have to do research from your country, incorporate the variables which are extremely related to your country, so that you come up with the findings and then the implications of those findings for the countries. People do that. I believe that even in any country, even if it is an underprivileged country or a country with not so good circumstances, the researchers are still studying it, and researchers are still researching the topics, contemporary topics on those countries. But yes, development is required, and it is coming slowly. We should contribute our part in an academic way by researching from those countries. So collect data from those countries and see if those models, which are from the developed countries, suit the underdeveloped countries as well. If no, then provide your suggestions, your findings, and future directions.
Thank you, Prof.
Yeah.
Yes, I couldn't agree more that yes, like my case study that I presented was about students in Malaysia, entrepreneurship students in Universiti Kebangsaan, Malaysia. But I think the learning experience can be applied in many contexts, and whether it's developed or developing countries. So interesting scenarios could come as to different background scenarios, and probably the enabling factors in different countries, whether the government is just as enabling, or whether the government is not enabling. And maybe it's the role of the NGOs and private sectors that are stronger playing a role. Or could be that in some countries like in India, in Philippines, where it is community-based organizations that are coming up. So different scenarios probably would have a different take. So yes, thank you for your question. And I hope that everybody will be able to relate to their own context and be able to see what is the best model that works for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you.
Thank you very much for very interesting and engaging discussion. But we are running out of time. but for the audience and participant who are participating, if you wanna, you can keep in touch and link up with Prof. Doris and Prof. Tahir as well. They will be happy to help. So to close this event, I'll give a takeaway message for the participants and the audience. So for those who are willing to, who are thinking about going into entrepreneurship, whatever you do, collaborate with people, collaborate with others, because it's very important, and be committed with whatever you do, and be honest. So whatever product or whatever service you provided, don't only think about the customer, don't only think about what they need or what or only think about their satisfaction, but do it for the profit, for the society, and as well as the environment. So thank you very much for joining us today. It has been a very pleasure to have all the two distinguished speakers, and I think we would love to have you another days for the next session. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you for inviting us. Take care. It was
Thank you very much, Prof. Tahir, Prof. Doris.
Thank
Thank you, Vin.
Prof.
Thank
Tahir, Prof.
you. Have
See
a
you
good
in
weekend,
other
everyone.
event.
Yeah.
Thank you, all of the audience. Hope that we will meet again
Take
in
care.
other agenda. Barakallah. Assalamualaikum.
Yeah.
Waalaikumsalam.
Keep in touch.
Hello from Lombok.
Oke, Pak Mujahid.
Ya,
Nice to
Moto,
meet you.
MotoGP. Mari Pak, Assalamualaikum.
Ya, Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for inviting me,
Thank
Pak.
you. Ya, Pak.
Yeah.
It was a good experience.
Enjoy your day.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.